Okay, so we're going to start Parasha Meditation Devarim. We're getting ready. This is about the Shabbat before Tisha B'Av. And so that is a special Shabbat that's called Shabbat Chazon. And why is it called Shabbat Chazon? That's because the Haftorah that we read on Shabbat preceding Tisha B'Av is Chazon Yeshayahu. The word Chazon means vision. But the question is, no other Shabbat is called in the name of the Haftorah we read then. So it can't be just because of the name of the Haftorah. But so there's a deeper reason why. The Shabbat is named for the rebirth of the temple that's destined to follow its destruction. And as we know, every generation in which the temple is not rebuilt is considered as though the temple has been destroyed in his generation. So that means that it's not just something like this whole temple business, some old building 2,000 years ago. It has to do with us very much. And it's a much deeper thing than a building. And based on where we're standing, who we are, and the work we do on ourselves, that's going to reflect the ability to rebuild the temple and have the Shekhinah reside within it and within us. Because really, when Hashem originally commanded to build a tabernacle, he said, build me a mikdash v'shechanti betocham. Tell the Jewish people to build a sanctuary, a holy place, a holy house, and I will reside within them. So it's really like a transformation that within us that this temple has to do with. So that's what we're looking forward to. And so in order to rebuild the temple, it starts in our mind like everything does. We have to start rebuilding the temple in our mind. And so the more we visualize something, the more we can actualize it. Something very important, and that's why we do a lot of meditation and visualizations to manifest. So there's another reason why Shabbat preceding Tisha B'Av is called Shabbat Chazon, because this is a Hasidic tradition that on that Shabbat before Tisha B'Av, every Jewish soul receives a glimpse of the world as a divine abode, a place where all God's creatures will experience his presence. In other words, every Shabbat preceding Tisha B'Av, we get a vision of that temple. If our soul gets it, it may not be a concrete vision, but it's in the air, and I wanted to prepare you for that, to take advantage of that special Shabbat. So I'm going to make a meditation that helps us visualize, but I was kind of overwhelmed by trying to visualize the entire temple. And so I decided instead I'm going to visualize just the two pillars that's at the entrance of the temple. And I had two very beautiful pillars with a pomegranate on top. They were very tall, and they represent the transition from the mundane to the holy, because it's the entrance gate. So that's what we want to like re-enter that temple. So I thought that was the perfect thing to visualize, because it's something simple, more simple than the whole entire temple. And so the names of these two columns, they also describe vision rather than function, which is really interesting. So that fits in with the Shabbat of vision, Shabbat Chazon. And they were they were called, their names, they had a name to create a positive sign. And one was called Yachin. I'm trying to remember which one, in the right or the left. I'm not sure. One was called Yachin and the other was called Boaz. What does that mean? So Yachin means establishment, that the temple will be established forever. And Boaz, like the name Boaz in Megillat Ruth, means in him is strength. So these two pillars have to do with power, very powerful. One is power, and the other one is eternity, basically. And so when we go through those pillars, B'ezrat Hashem, we'll experience that soon for the temple. We will, when we go through them, there's going to be such a transformation happening with us that's going to empower us and give us endurance. And also, it refers to the power and endurance of the temple itself. So whenever the temple would stand in Yerushalayim, these pillars had the physical expression. But when we're now in exile, then what happens to these pillars, and how are they connected to us today? And so the spiritual energy of these pillars, they still continue to inspire every Jewish soul the vision and faith in the temple's forthcoming rebuilding. So that's, that the power of the temple and the endurance of the temple, like the foreverness of the temple. So now let's close our eyes and take a deep breath. I hope you're in a relaxed place and that you can center yourself. Become aware of your breath. Imagine inhaling Hashem's life-giving light and exhaling tension, pressure, and worry. Keep breathing slowly while inhaling Ya, exhaling Chin 4 times. That's one of the pillars, the one that means enduring, so foreverness. Ya, Chin. Ya, Chin. Ya, Chin. And last time. Ya, Chin. Now keep breathing slowly while inhaling Boaz. Bo, inhaling, and Az, exhaling 4 times too. Impart inner strength and endurance into your breathing. Bo, Az. Bo, Az. Bo, Az. And last time, Bo, Az. Allow yourself to visualize the 2 great copper pillars at the opening of the temple, towering 9 meters high, about 4.5 times the height of a person, as you keep breathing. Visualize the Shoshan, which is a lily on top of each of the pillars, with the 6 petals decorating the pillars. Yachin on the right side of the temple, here we go, and Boaz on the left. They also correspond to the Yachin to Netzach, that's what means endurance and eternity, and Boaz to Hod, inner power. Visualize the temple gate and the light exuding from it. How does it make you feel? Can you sense how it elevates you to become a new you? Imagine your heart expanding and really feeling the love for every creation. Ask yourself, what do I aspire to be? Which steps do I need to take to get where I really want to be? Take your time to envision going through the gate, really visualizing the small figure of yourself entering between the tall pillars of Yachin and Boaz. What do you experience? Try to envision the colors, sounds, the feelings, the smell, and even the taste of the air. Make a resolution. Promise yourself and Hashem to make a positive change in your life that will bring you closer to who you really want to be and help you bring about the rebuilding of the temple, both in your heart as well as in the world. So just keep in mind that Shabbat Chazon is greater than any other Shabbat of the year, because there never was a day of greater closeness between Hashem and Israel than when the temple was destroyed, actually. Interesting. I'm going to teach more about that in one of my online special classes. This can be understood in light of the Jewish law that a person is obligated to have relations with his wife before traveling on a journey. The last moment before Hashem's Shekhinah takes leave of Israel, there is a greater closeness and intimacy than ever. So let's take advantage of this Shabbat Chazon and to visualize all the true goodness for which we're yearning. So when you're ready, you can open your eyes.